All right, for the latest on the widening investigation into Charlie Kirk's assassination, we have the Deputy Director of the FBI, Dan Bongino, joining us now. And, sir, it's good to have you on. I want to start with what appears to be evidence that others might have known that Charlie Kirk could have been killed last week before it happened, messages online that might foreshadow it. What can you tell us about that at this time?
Well, Rob, there's a significant body of evidence here, and the only question is the timeline that other people knew about the incident. Now, obviously, the timeline's a critical piece of information. Did they know before? Did they know afterwards? Now, I know you may say to yourself, well, how could you be unfamiliar with the timeline? Because when you read some of the traffic, it's unclear if, and I have to, obviously, I know you understand, I have to speak somewhat cryptically. I don't want to in any way jeopardize the investigation. Mm-hmm. But when items and things were left behind and people involved in this investigation stated things, it's unclear when that message was received. Does that make sense? Before or after? Now, we're working that we hope to have answers on that shortly. We should. But the timeline here obviously matters when you're speaking of things like motive and intent in the case, especially when it comes to things like aiding and abetting.
Yeah, and some of that support, I mean, this assassination, in a way feels a little bit like Butler. It's a gunman with a rifle on a roof, obviously. Thomas Matthew Crooks also had a Discord account. This kid was heavy on Discord. I know some about this because I just feel like it's a place where a lot of these tormented young minds are drawn to this app. And it's, I wonder if, obviously you're going to look there to see if anybody knew about it there. But I mean, do you think that is that a place where your investigation is leading into? Is that where I think a lot of this twisted stuff is coming out of?
Well, it's already been out there in the public space that a significant amount of the digital evidence we acquired in this case was on Discord. Now, listen, this does happen on a lot of platforms, and the difference between platforms and publishers is there's a different level of responsibility legally for them. However, individuals on that platform, it is not a safe harbor, Rob, to go on a platform and say, well, I said it publicly on said platform, so I can threaten to kill or harass someone. It doesn't work that way. We'll go anywhere to look for you if we believe you committed a crime. And if we can gather enough PC, probable cause, and surpass that legal hurdle and get process done on you and arrest warrants and search warrants, we'll do it. I said this morning, and I'll say again, this is not the end of this investigation. It's not even the end of the beginning of the investigation. We've just started. The fact that we have a suspect, and everybody's obviously innocent until proven guilty in this constitutional republic we have, but we are investigating a potential broader network of people who may have known. And we've had some, I think I can tell you comfortably on your show tonight, we've had some developments in the case actually right before I came on the air. So there have been some significant developments in the case. You'll be the first to hear about it, and we hope to have more on that. Have to be careful about it right now, but we hope to have more on that within the coming hours.
You mean developments as far as other potential people involved, or can you give me a hint?
I'll say the involvement of others in the case, yes, that's an accurate assessment. I just have to obviously be careful. Okay. My goal in coming on your show, Rob, is I and Kash Patel obviously want to be transparent and get out into the public. We don't want an information vacuum which can be filled by others. What we can get out there, we fully intend on doing, but we still have to respect process in the investigation, which I know everybody understands.
It's a welcome relief to see that we have a DOJ now and an FBI that doesn't want to conceal what the motive is here, because it might disrupt, a larger agenda within a political administration, which is what I think we saw in the last administration for sure. So it's great to have that transparency and to know that you guys, no matter what it is, you're going to put it out there, and that's so important. I'm sure you heard Stephen Miller today. It went viral what he said regarding this threat and investigating, looking into what is happening in our country, because I think that's what everybody's wondering is how the hell did we get such a large faction of people that want to kill the political right, and then they want to celebrate it too. I mean, it's scary enough to have people out there that are willing to shoot Charlie Kirk. I almost think it's even scarier that there are millions of people cheering for it on the internet. and then you wonder what those people are capable of. Talk about investigating that and where you think that might lead.
Yeah, Rob, we're not the Federal Bureau of Fairy Tales. We're the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're going to speak clearly and firmly. You can't hide behind your political ideology if you break the law and threaten to kill or, in fact, violently attack someone. I can't understand, regardless of your politics, how there's this subset of people involved in that specific arena who seem to think you get some kind of a pass because you say, well, I disagreed with his politics. That's not the way any of this works. That's not the way any of this is ever supposed to have worked. Now, regardless of what happened in the past, this specific FBI leadership team here, we are going to speak clearly and decisively. We said about prior investigations when we had the Boulder investigation. We spoke out, we spoke early, we said we're going to investigate this act, investigate it as an act of terrorism. There were people who didn't like that. People in the other, in other media spaces who didn't like that. What didn't you like about that?
Right.
When we see a motive, we're going to talk about it when we can, and we're going to let the public know. It's important.
Yeah. I want to talk about the administration's crime crackdown before I let you go tonight, sir. I was with the president over the weekend. He was upset about mayors and governors in these blue states and blue cities who have been taking credit for crime down a decent clip here in these last several months since Trump came into the White House. The president posted last night, it was Saturday night, the only reason crime is somewhat down in Memphis is because the FBI and others in the federal government in my direction have been working there for 5 months on the absolutely terrible crime numbers. Yeah. Likewise in Chicago and Los Angeles. So basically what we have is people like J.B. Pritzker saying, hey, Trump, stay the hell out of our cities. We've got this. Crime's already down 30%. We don't need you coming in here. We know what we're doing. In truth, they had no idea what they were doing. The president says it's because he put the right kinds of people in place, people like you, that know how to fight crime. That's why they've gotten this tick down, that they can even have the audacity to sit up there and say we don't need any help.
Well, Rob, people can say stay out of our cities all they want, but their cities are in the United States of America. I, in fact, work for the American people, not for a local mayor or a governor. And I'll give you a little exclusive tonight. We're already in most of your cities. Well, we have a field office presence in just about every major city in the United States. But this violent crime crackdown has been going on, as you accurately stated, for 5 months. All you had to do, by the way, in conjunction with a fully supportive White House and DOJ. This isn't news. To all of these mayors and politicians who, I don't know if they like crime or I don't care. Why would you not want the FBI, HSI, DEA, and your local police working together to get bad guys off the street? What is this, a safe harbor for violent criminals? The FBI early on decided, Cash and I met in conjunction with the full support of the White House, who had said, we're done with this violent crime crap. We're done with it. Yeah. We are going to get back in the business of chasing these demons off the street, and we're going to grab them. And what did we do? We went out there in conjunction with our federal and state partners and said, give us a list of your warrants. We're going to baseball card them. We're going to put them on baseball cards and draw up a target list, and we're going to go out and we are going to start picking off people via arrest one by one. So when you hear a lot of these folks out there, these politicians talking about a crime rate going down, well, they're not giving a lot of credit where the credit is due, and that's to an administration that's focused relentlessly on violent crime. I'll note from day one.
Yeah, and think about how many black lives has this administration saved over the last 5-6 months, and just to be vilified for it. It's just in this ridiculous country and the ridiculous narratives that they drive. It's just unbelievable. Deputy Director of the FBI, Dan Bongino, thank you so much for doing a great job and for keeping us safe. Good to see you, sir.
Thanks, Rob. Good to see you.
You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt Tonight on Newsmax.